because it is about conversations. And the way that these energy champions, apart from being skilled to do energy assessments, are going to have an impact is by having conversations with people who are struggling with energy issues. So this is just a very brief overview of what is an incredibly ambitious project. It's a 5-year project. It's funded by the National Lottery Community Fund. And as Francis mentioned, we're at Enfield Voluntary Action, we're the local infrastructure body for charities, local charities and community groups. So we're delivering this project over a 5-year period with 2 project partners, Heat, who essentially do they're the experts in energy efficiency, and we've also got Citizens Advice, providing local residents with support around how to tackle fuel poverty. And I think the whole premise of this project really is that actually, if people are struggling in their lives, and their first thought is how am I going to put food on the table, or how am I going to pay my rent, or how am I going to pay my fuel bills, they're not ready to engage in climate conversations because they're in such a different place. So fundamentally, what this project is about is recognizing that the most disenfranchised people, they need support before they can play their role within climate, positively impacting on climate change. So that's the premise of it. So I've just touched on that first point there. And the aim of the project is to establish a network of 50 energy champions, but these must be recruited from local, voluntary and community sector groups. The rationale being that actually these groups all have networks already. They have established communication networks. And so if we were just to get an individual on board, okay, they might be able to influence some friends, but really we're looking to maximize impacts through existing networks. And also, as we know, Enfield's an incredibly diverse borough. We already have those relationships with about 800 to 1,000 local groups. So we're building on our strengths as Enfield Voluntary Action, and we're really kind of recognizing that those groups have, above all, trusted relationships with their clients. And that's the key thing. It is about trust. Rather than having someone come from the council doing assessments, it's actually far easier to reach out to people if someone that they can identify with has that message and that support for them. So the aim is to really provide advice to tackle fuel poverty, promote community-led energy efficiencies in Enfield, and the overall aim is to reduce energy poverty and to contribute towards Enfield's 2040 target of net zero carbon. As I mentioned, we've got 2 project partners, Heat, who are the specialists in doing things like in providing energy advice and retrofitting, and then we have Enfield Citizens Advice, who can support local residents in how they can best actually tackle in terms of giving debt advice. And that they're going to play a really important role because you have to be legally qualified to advise around debt. So that's quite an important strand there. And we will be, as we get established. So we've just been through a development phase. We've just come to the end of that development phase, but as part of the ongoing work, we'll be looking to kind of strike up strategic partnerships to really share our learning. That's the key thing, share our learning about this project. So that can be with energy efficiency charities, learning institutes, and the council as well as a key stakeholder. So we're looking to recruit and train in a network of 50 energy champions to provide practical advice and support to residents across Enfield to help residents assess their home energy use energy more efficiently and reduce their vulnerability to fuel poverty, and become more aware of and help reduce carbon emissions in Enfield. So, as I mentioned earlier on, they must be attached as an employee or a volunteer to a local community group or a charity. Yeah, so, and that person who they would like to nominate as an energy champion is already in some capacity actively reaching out to residents. It doesn't really matter in what capacity, but they must have those relations. They must be actively have those relationships with clients. They've got to have some experience of supporting clients. So this is, so I do apologize. I pulled this together very, very quickly before the meeting. So if I'm repeating some points. But one of the key things is obviously that energy champions will, the cost of living crisis is huge. It's off the scale, and it's only going to get worse from what I can see and what we can see. So, critically, lots of organisations we know are having, their clients, they're having increasing numbers of clients come to them with cost of living issues. And so really this is about building the capacity of local community groups to help their clients overcome fuel poverty through practical assessments around energy, helping their clients to make efficiency savings, and again to reduce carbon emissions. We're not going to be prescriptive about how energy champions support their clients. So it can be that they conduct home visits, or it might be that they can give related advice from a community setting. So we're not managing the energy champions, it's the host organisation that manages them, and that in managing them recognises the need to support their clients in this way. But equally, they will be able to refer clients to a dedicated fuel debt advice service through Systems as Advice Enfield, and specialist energy efficiency advice and hands-on support and guidance from HEAT. So again, this is I'm speaking. I don't quite know who I've got how many community group representatives I've got in the room, but this is kind of scripted to potential energy champions themselves. So as an energy champion, actually part of the accreditation, part of the training will provide accredited training course as part of their induction and recruitment. So it's quite a basic level qualification. It's equivalent of MVQ level 1, but actually our philosophy is we really to make it as practical and easy as possible for people to get involved, because once they are involved, they will be supported as far as they want to go, quite literally. So they'll have access to a regular network for support, further free training opportunities right up to diploma level, MBQ level 4, and they'll be also recognised and celebrated through awards events. So really, anyone who signs up to do this, they can go as far as they want to. I can't stress that enough. If they and particularly if they're supported by their organisation, the chances are that anyone who's determined to make a difference can make a difference. And another benefit is that it's about enabling organisations to develop new projects in new areas of expertise, and also use that as a lever to access new sources of funding. One of the key components of this project will be that there's a grant scheme of up to £5,000 for the organisation hosting the energy champion. So the application has to be made by the organisation rather than the individual. And this is to really build on the work that the energy champion has been doing, and to provide a framework to test out new ideas around that. It's not an automatic award. It will be competitive. So there'll be probably about 20 awards, but given that we'll have about 50 energy champions, the chances of success in terms of getting that funding are reasonably high. And I say that as a lifelong fundraiser. So it's pretty, I won't call it a gimmick, a shoe-in, but not far off. So yeah, I hope that's a great incentive for the energy champions to really think about what they're doing and how they can improve and increase the impact of what they're doing. So again, this is very much about enabling organisations to expand and enhance the quality of advice that they offer. Help, and also expanding the topics that they can help their clients around. And it's very much also about providing them with practical solutions as well, so that there's going to be a clear referral pathway in terms of supporting people who are in need and who are struggling around fuel poverty. And anyone who's an energy champion will get ongoing support from the project partners. So HEAT are there essentially. Any energy champion can get in touch with HEAT and say, I'm experiencing X, Y, or Z problem with this client, or this client is experiencing X, Y, Z problem. How can I help them? And HEAT will respond in terms of either, if it depends, because don't forget, these energy champions will be starting off with a fairly basic skill set, but they will be growing that skill set continuously. And so, it might be that the energy champion needs quite a lot of support initially, but HEAT will be there for them. And equally, if there's debt issues, any of it, Citizens Advice will be there for them in terms of providing that additional expert support. So, and this is just outlining the training commitments that we have for the very first cohort. So just into quite practical terms, if you know anyone who's interested in becoming an energy champion who's attached to a local Enfield group, these are the dates to keep in mind, to keep free. So there's an induction on 29th of April, and then we have 3 in-person training sessions on consecutive Wednesdays in May. And then we've got more cohorts scheduled throughout the 5 years, essentially. And if you sign up to the Energy Champions mailing list that I've just given you, but please do, you'll be kept informed of all these developments as the project unfolds. Just very quickly, I'm not going to, I'm as a fundraiser, I'm kind of very project outcomes and project outputs focused, but actually sometimes I think it's, words can be a bit, not numbers and figures, but words can be a bit more inspirational. And for me, this is such an exciting opportunity. I'm really pleased and proud to be project managing it. I don't come from someone who's I think about climate change, but a question about what I'm doing and do I do enough? And so for me, it is going to be a learning curve as well around climate issues. But as someone who really enjoys working with communities, that's where the excitement comes from, really, because it's such an important issue that impacts on communities, in quite a fundamental way. So, and this is really about supporting the most vulnerable people in Enfield, not exclusively. We will help homeowners make home improvements, but actually, the level of deprivation in Enfield is such that actually we feel that the biggest impact is going to be targeting the most vulnerable people. And so basically we were really looking to build and embed this as a local network with the skills to really help transform the lives of vulnerable residents across the borough, and really to help empower them, to help residents become open to the messages around climate change, energy efficiency, carbon emissions. But we recognise that can't be done unless we help them with their personal challenges. And hopefully longer term they will make significant contributions. And that's all I prepared for this evening, because I really wasn't sure how long I'd have the floor for, but I'm very happy to take any questions now. And equally, do feel free to get in touch with me. I'm always interested to hear different perspectives, and above all, I'm really interested to hear if you know that's of a local group that would benefit from an energy champion.